So now that you've shifted your attention from the thoughts to the space between the thoughts, you start noticing this spaciousness, this emptiness. You start noticing more silence and stillness. The mind becomes less active and the mind becomes quieter, simply from shifting the attention from the thoughts to the space between the thoughts. And like I said in the last video, this gets reflected in your outer experience. You start noticing the space between objects. Prior to the shift, you were just simply noticing the objects, the tree, the building, the people, the cars, the clouds, all of the objects you are noticing. But now by simply shifting your attention from the thoughts, which appear to you as objects, to that which is non-objective, which is the space between the thoughts, you then start noticing more of this spaciousness in your exterior experience. This spaciousness, this openness, this expansiveness, and you start noticing the silence and the stillness. It's like the outer experience becomes more silent and still, more expansive. And this shift just happens just simply from noticing the space between the thoughts. But now let's go one step further. And let's notice the space that the thoughts are appearing in. So we can say that the space that contains the thoughts. Not only are you noticing the space between thought 1 and thought 2, and noticing the space between those thoughts, but now notice that these two thoughts, each thought is appearing in a space. So it's the space that then contains the thoughts. And by noticing that there's this space that's always present, that's containing the thoughts, you start noticing that the space that contains the thoughts is not changing. It's always the same space. It's the thoughts that are changing. It's the thoughts that are appearing and disappearing in that one space. The thoughts are always different, but the space is always the same. What this looks like in your outer experience is very similar. You start noticing that yes, there's space between the tree and the building, and now you're seeing your attention has shifted and you're noticing the space between objects. And you're noticing now this non-objective space. And you're starting to realize that all of these objects are appearing in the one space, that there are not separate spaces, that the space that's within this room is the same space that's outside of the room. So it's the one space that contains the diversity and the multiplicity of the objects. Many objects are appearing in just one space. And you see that these objects actually depend on the space. If it wasn't for the space, there would be no objects that are appearing in it. If it wasn't for the space, then there wouldn't be the thoughts that are appearing in it. So you start seeing that the thoughts are dependent on the space, that these objects that are external are appearing in the one space. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.